Welcome everyone, Rowdy here. Let's take a look at some teams for the World Event Signs and Portents. And there's our medal for the week, 160% skull and spell damage. They didn't give us an option to do skull spam, but there's still a little bit of skull work here. And they're trying to fool us again with runes and prophecies, but it actually turns out that the scoring is very simple on this. The only one that drops prophecies is the Widow Queen, and it starts out by dropping 4, which is 40 points, and every single fight has a 25% extra drop past the first one. So basically you're scoring, you're always going to want to do the Widow Queen fight first. The next one, you want to do the Arachnian Weaver fight at whatever is the highest level. The next one is the Web Spinner fight. And then you have 2, which would be Malcandessa and Tal Ray. Those are the ones after that. And the bottom one would be Shadowblade. So in that order. And let's take a look at the board. So Widow Queen right here, even though this is level 100, you would still want to take that because you'd get more points for that. And then Web Spinner, and you don't want to mess with that. I haven't had to yet, which is nice. So anyways, this is the team I'm using. I'm using Oracle because that makes you a Centaur. Let's see, Orion. Not a great troop. Deals damage to an enemy and Hunter's Mark some. Gains 5 magic. The interesting part, 75% chance to ignore armor with skull damage, which you're always going to have skulls kind of just on the board, and that's pretty much true damage right there. Firefly, which is an old event weapon, deals damage to an enemy boosted by Centaur allies. Creates a mix of green and yellow for each Centaur ally. And that's why I've got Worldbreaker here. Does damage to all enemies, explodes 18 gems, and gains 5 to a random skill on 4 or 5 gem matches. And then this is the new legendary here, which I've got up to Mythic. And it turns out the Starstorm is not the color of the troop's mana. It's actually purple and yellow storm that it creates. So when you actually do destroy a row in a column and deal damage to all enemies, there's usually a lot of purple and yellow on the board. So I'll just do one fight with this team real quick. I don't really like any of these 3 teams that I have for you an awful lot this week, but they didn't give us really good options because your weapon is basically tied to your kingdom right now. And so we don't have a good choice of weapons today. Or this week, I should say. Sure would be nice if you weren't webbed. But at least I can explode the board. And now we cast that. We're looking for a bunch of purple. I've got 3 there. I want to take a bunch of yellow too. And this is only Widow Queen at level 100. So, as I said, I'm not overly fond of any of these 3 teams, but I don't think we're going to get much better. So I'm up to 10 prophecies now on that, and up to 175 on Web Spinner. Pardon me. So I will show you the other 2 teams I made, and the weakest team that I made, I did try on Web Spinner level 145, and I did beat it 2 different times. I had 4 Web Spinners at the same level on the board at one time. Pardon me. And this is my second team. This is for, I'll just show you the weapons that you have to choose from, because you can only use Divinion Fields weapons. And a lot of people aren't going to have that. Well, I wouldn't want to use that anyways. Eternal Flame, that works best with like a Yao team or something like that. It would also work with a World Breaker team. Firefly, Rosebow, that would be another option because it creates 6 blue and yellow gems for each Divinion Fields ally as opposed to a Centaur ally, but it's an old event weapon. Then you got Scout's Bow, boo. You've got Staff of Visions, which is the unlock for Oracle class with 250 wins, and then Wild Hunter. It does deal true damage, and it deals triple if they have Hunter's Mark, but the colors, meh, didn't really care for them. So on this one, I've got Artima. Explodes a row, deals 44 damage to the 2 weakest enemies, boosted by ally centaurs, and has a 50% chance to ignore armor with skull damage, and 40% chance to skull dodge. Not bad. And this is for people that this is all they have. Bullseye, deal true damage to an enemy. Red Cap also deals true damage to an enemy, and if the enemy has Hunter's Mark, Fire all enemies starts with 50% mana. And Astral Spirit, another true damage to the first enemy and boosted by gems removed, and you can choose the color. And the third team I have, which this one did beat the Web Spinner team at level 145 2 times in a row pretty easily. Wild Knight, which does have skull reduction, inflicts Hunter's Mark when it takes skull damage, but it explodes a gem, gains life and attack, boosted by green gems destroyed, and gains barrier, so that does help. Staff of Visions gives an ally life, or I'm sorry, whatever your magic stat is, plus to a random skill, and then barrier them and give them mana. I've been casting that on Voltoros. And Auspicia gives 42 life to an ally, removes all blue, red, and brown. And you should get an extra turn when you cast that. At least I have. And I've been casting that on Voltoros also for the extra life. And that's doing scatter damage boosted by his life on a 1-to-1 ratio. Usually 2 or 3 casts and everything is dead. So those are the teams I have. It's about the best I can do this week. And I hope that helped you out. If it did, throw me a like. If you haven't subscribed, please do. And I will catch you later. Thank you.